Julie Chin wrote, "When I Grow Up," and it's illustrated by Diane Good. And the reason I point out the illustrator is that I want you to pay particular attention to the pictures, because Julie is writing about her son Charlie, and it's one evening in his life, and you'll see from the pictures. Charlie says, "Will I ever grow up? I have big ideas and lots of things I want to do. I am in a hurry to be big. Do you think I will be big like you?" I'm sure he's talking to his mom. When I grow up. And Julie says, "To my son Charlie, you will accomplish all your good wishes in life." And then Diane says, "For my son." And so I think they probably both have sons the same age. And you see a picture here of Charlie and Sam, his dog, in a little plant just beginning to grow. And I'm sure Charlie's thinking, I've got to grow too. And he has some questions he wants to ask his mom. "Mom, when I grow up, what do you think I will be?" And there you see, it looks like she's trying to get him dressed, but as you will see, she's getting him undressed to go to bed. "Will I be funny like a comedian? Will I be smart like a doctor? Do you think I'll live near or far? I could live next door, or my job may take me half a way around the world. I don't know." "Will I be a baker and make the world a sweeter place to live?" And here she's getting him undressed. Sam's helping. On this picture, we see Charlie as a baker on the top of a 6-layer cake. Sam is trying out the taste of the cake at the bottom there. But will I be a baker and make a sweeter place to live? Will I be a teacher and let dogs come to school? Sam's thinking, well, maybe that's a good idea. Here it shows Charlie in the classroom with students and dogs. I had a dog once. His name was Riley. My wife called him Riley because she thought he'd have a good life living with us. We lived next door to a family that had 3 boys. They were in 7, 8, 9, or 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that age group. They liked to play in their backyard, and Riley was in a backyard too, but they taught him to climb a chain link fence so that when they got in the backyard, Riley was able to join them. School was getting ready to start. It was starting. The morning that they had to report to their classroom, they came to the fence and said goodbye to Riley and walked on off to school. Pretty soon, Riley was there to join them. He walked them to school. When they got to school, they didn't know what to do with him. They went on into their classroom, and Riley joined them, and he sat under their desk. Fortunately for Riley, the teacher didn't object, and for days that's what happened. He would walk to school with them, sit under their desk, and walk home with them. But that Friday, the teacher was sick and called in a substitute, and the substitute was not a dog lover. So she called the principal and said, "I've got a dog in my classroom." And the principal called the pound, and Riley was sent to the pound and spent the weekend in the pound. He sure was glad to see us. Well, let's see what Charlie's doing now. He could be a teacher and have dogs in the classroom. Will I be a writer and tell stories of places far away and long ago? Here he is on his magic carpet with Sam, traveling throughout the world. And will I be a climber and reach the mountaintop? Here it shows Charlie climbing up to meet his mom. Will you be a mountain climber? Will you have mountains to climb? You may have. Will I be a gardener and plant seeds all around and watch them grow? Here we see some more getting ready for bed. Shows Charlie with Sam in a sunflower field, and that's what would happen if you plant the seeds and watch them grow. Next, he says, will I be an astronaut and see the world from afar? And it shows Sam in the mothership with Charlie out as an astronaut floating around in space. Well, he could be an astronaut, maybe. Will I be a painter and make the world more beautiful? This picture shows Charlie and Sam looking off to the right there. I'm sure they're talking, he's talking to his mom. But over here we see Charlie as a painter with Sam as his subject. And then Charlie says, will I be a builder and watch my buildings touch the sky? And here his mom is giving him a glass of water or milk for just before he goes to bed. And there he shows Charlie underneath the tree with Sam looking up at things maybe he could build if he became an architect or someone that builds things. Then we see Charlie, will I be a musician and fill the world with lovely sounds? Charlie. Here's Charlie underneath the tree with Sam relaxing, playing a flute, making the world a beautiful place with lovely sounds. And then Charlie says with his head in his mom's lap, I can't wait to grow up. And it shows him riding on his flying dragon, all the different jobs he could have in his lifetime. A farmer, race car driver, pilot, operating a submarine, a tugboat operator. And then here we have his mom talking to him as she puts him to bed. When you grow up, you can be whatever you dream, no matter what. I will always be there for you, just like now. I'll always hold on. And here she is putting him into bed. Sam's going to have to move, I'm sure. And on the last page, it shows Charlie with his mom in bed. She's got her arm around him, his head on her shoulder. And he says, let's dream. She says, let's dream of tomorrow together. Let's dream of tomorrow together. And when you grow up, you've got a lot of growing to do. I hope that you'll talk to your parents, because you have to remember that they were kids too. So when things come on when you have things on your mind and you want to discuss them, let them know. Talk to your parents. Well, that's it for this reading. I'll say good night to you now.